Good morning, viewers. My name is Darius Jackson, and welcome to the Lrtn's Prime Time. This morning, we're going to be having a special discussion on the coronavirus, how to keep yourself safe, and all the facts and statistics that you need to know. Today, we have special guest, our senior chair member of the board, Mr. Pei, as well as he is also our health coordinator, senior health coordinator. We also have State Representative Jared Solomon of the 202nd District of Philadelphia. And we also have, streaming in from Maryland, we have Dr. Dogbe Chris Nia.
Welcome to all of you. We will now begin our interview with State Representative Stubb.
Good morning, Representative. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're well. Staying somewhat of a social distancing. So today,
6 feet.
we are talking about the coronavirus. Anything that you can tell us about the coronavirus, the origins of it?
Well, I'm certainly not a doctor, so I can't speak on the medical front. What I can talk about is how COVID-19 is impacting my community and what measures we're taking at the state and the local level to combat COVID-19. So basically, the main objective that I have when it comes to addressing this pandemic in my local community is identifying need and trying to find a rapid response to address it. So, for instance, one of the biggest needs in my community right now is food security issues. So, people who, because of this hardship, don't have the necessary food. So, we're setting up makeshift food pantries, some regular food deliveries through Meals on Wheels. And then we're working with the city at two main locations to deliver food for people, prepackaged food throughout the week. What we're also trying to do is help people navigate the very difficult unemployment compensation system. We have had a lot of people filing for unemployment compensation as a result of COVID-19. So my staff and I are working every day to make sure that we can get people the resources they need. Lastly, we're trying to give the public-facing people in my neighborhood, namely the medical professionals, the police, the firefighters, other first responders, the necessary medical equipment. As many of you know, the availability of masks and gowns are very scarce. So I'm working with my contacts to try and deliver that to my community. That's what we're doing at the local level. At the state level, what I'm working on is a package of bills to address workers, small business, and on the larger scale, getting as many resources to our medical professionals as possible. So for our workers, what I'm trying to do is get money in their pocket through a rent rebate program. For small businesses, I'm developing a small business no interest loan program. And for our medical professionals, I'm trying to encourage hospitals to buy as many supplies as possible so that we can have the ventilators and other necessities we need to combat this virus.
Representative, thank you for that information. But let me ask you this question: Will you know if anybody in your district has been positive of the virus?
So we are allowed to know the number of people per zip code, but we're not allowed to know exactly where they are.
Oh, okay.
Because of privacy issues.
Yes.
So I know the number, but not the exact location.
Okay.
Now, Representative, within the district itself, how many are infected or were tested positive of the coronavirus?
So in my district, which includes Castor Garden, Oxford Circle, Wissinoming, Burholm, Longcrest, and Lawndale, there's I don't know what the numbers are going to be today, but right now there's a probably about 58, 60 cases.
Okay, all right. So my next question would be this. Even though it had not been pronounced and is now yet known all over America, but we are seeing on TV and on interview with the recent discovery of uh, medication. We talk about hydroxychloroquine and that of um, zinc and zithromycin. Have you heard anything about that? And if you heard something, what did you hear? And how far is it with the FDA?
So it's going to take some time to get the approval of a vaccine. We're talking months, not weeks. So it's going to be a substantial amount of time. At Penn State, at their medical school, they are currently working on the development of a vaccine and they're ready to go to trial. They're asking the state for some money to help to expedite their move. The stimulus bill that was just passed, the CARE Act on the federal level, gives the FDA a lot more flexibility to move treatment as quickly as possible. Right now, medical professionals, for probably the first time ever, have completely discarded all of their research, all of their individual work, and the whole world, when it comes to research and development, is singularly focused on creating a vaccine to combat COVID-19.
Yeah, Representative, the vaccine is just preventative measure. But what we're talking about, uh, hydroxychloroquine is a curative. This that we heard from was a research done in France, and that was brought to the U.S. And now we heard from Dr. Oz on CBS that this medication is a curative for this virus because it inhibits the replication of the virus if you have it. Okay, and when the replication of the virus is inhibited, it won't grow to be active or to harm the person. All right, so that is hydroxychloroquine along with the antibody we call Zidromax. That is the curative. It is not the vaccine. We know the vaccine is in progress. So that's why I was just asking you if you have heard about the curative side of this. Uh,
I've heard the same news reports you have, but I have no information about whether that is something that I feel comfortable recommending to the public. I think the best thing is going to be it's going to take longer, but it's going to be a vaccine. And I rely on our medical professionals to make that determination.
Thank you, Rep. One last question. Is there any message that you would like to give to our audience viewers or the people in your district? Is there any message that you can give to us, any message of hope or positivity in regards to the virus?
I just want to say that we're all going to get through this together. And right now, what I want to tell your audience is that if they're in the Northeast Philadelphia area, that I'm here to serve them. Anytime that anyone feels like they're in need, whether they're looking for food, they're having trouble because they're being laid off or furloughed, or they're someone who's on the front lines of this and is looking for medical supplies or equipment, please, please, please call our office. My office number is 215-342-6340. That's 215-342-6340. We're working 7 days a week around the clock to make sure that we all work together in the next 2, 3 months, however long it takes to get out of this together, and then we can begin to rebuild our community and make it stronger than it was before.
All right, Representative, I got another question for you. I'd like to,
Sure.
how many testing sites do you have in your district?
In Northeast Philadelphia, sadly, unfortunately, there are 0.
All right, for right now, we'll take a break and we'll come right back, Representative. Thank you.
Sure.
Welcome back to Lrtn's Primetime. We are here at our live studios along with Mr. Pei, State Representative Jared Solomon, and along with Dr. Chris Nia. Now, Dr. Nia is streaming all the way from Maryland, and he is an infectious disease specialist. So he has more questions on how the virus is spreading, how we can go about keeping ourselves safe, and the logistics along with the virus. Hello, Dr. Nia.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I am doing fine, and yourself?
We're well. We're well. Now, is there anything that you can tell us about the virus? Exactly where did it start and how did it begin to spread?
Well, the virus is part of the coronavirus family. And among the viruses, we have SARS and MERS. I don't want to go into the technicality of detailed biology of that. But the virus spreads from human to human through contact. People got it through air bubbles, air droplets when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Once you get in contact, the virus goes into your respiratory tract through the nose, and then it is niched and situated mostly in the lower part of your breathing system, which is the respiratory tract. So it sits in your lungs, and there it causes the diseases or the harm. In this regard, your body begins to fight back because it sees it as a foreign object, and so your body activates all of its defense mechanisms, and through what we call inflammation, your body begins to fight back, and through that, the entire process of your body begin to get, what we say now, you begin to get sick. So that's how the infection takes place. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible so that those who are not within the medical field can understand the process in a very simple form. The symptoms then that will begin to show when you become infected are primarily coughing, fever. The cough is a kind of dry cough, and then you begin to have headache and some respiratory problems. You find it difficult to breathe, and some patients report that they have diarrhea and sensation of vomiting. But there are some patients that do not carry these symptoms and they become silently infected and they become silent carriers of the virus. That is where the danger is, for which we tell the public to be very careful in terms of regulations that we put in place, preventive in terms of that. Do not cough or sneeze in front of people. Sneeze into your elbow, cough into your elbow. Wash your hands constantly because the virus is also left on surfaces like door handles, tabletop, kitchen top, areas where people frequent in the bathroom. So when you touch these areas and pick it up and put your hands in your mouth or rub your face, the virus is able to enter through your nose and opening in your face like your eyes. So that's why we put these regulations in place for people to constantly wash their hands with soap for at least 30 seconds to a minute. I say those in detail. And we advise also that patients use hand sanitizers that have 60-65% or more content, percentage of alcohol. We also advise that people stay distances from each other, because when you sneeze on a normal atmospheric condition where there is no, the air is not breathing, we find that the virus extends, by about 3 to 4 feet. And that is why we suggest that people stay about 6 feet or more away from individuals who may be persistently coughing or sneezing. And so, yes, those are the regulations that we put in place. Because of the fast spread of this virus within the population, as you have seen, it originated, the epidemic erupted from China and then turned into a pandemic when it crossed international borders and has infected almost all 7 continents besides Antarctica that we've not heard about. And so we ask that we've been asking countries to close the borders or lock down. But once there's a lockdown in place, healthcare frontline workers are able to preventive exercises and mitigation exercises as well. In terms of therapy, we usually particularly treat symptomatically, meaning that the symptoms that are shown, which are listed earlier, are the symptoms that we treat. If you have headache, we treat that with particular medications, anti-headache medication, like Bicone. We recommend paracetamol. In the United States, for those that are listening, Tylenol is best more or less in treating, the headache that may arise from that. But the doctors that will be taking care of you will definitely know what to give you and what not to give you. So on this question, I may want to prevent myself from actually suggesting to you or making suggestions as to what you take and what you don't take. But there has been in the news the question of hydrochloroquine and chloroquine itself being effective in treating COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 infection. And you have also heard that there's a lot of research going on about this. We have advised people not to take chloroquine or not to take hydrochloroquine because we know definitely it has anti-viral activity, meaning that it has worked against certain viruses. And so during this recent outbreak, some of our biomedical colleagues in China did carry out a few studies in order to see whether it works. And they got promising results. Due to these promising results, in other medical jurisdictions, as this particular pandemic continues, we are then trying to see how we can carry out control studies in different centers. One of those studies have been done at the National Institute of Health in the United States.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. We are going to get right back to you, but first we have to take a commercial break, and we can resume this topic.
Sure.
Thank you. Lrtn Primetime. I'm Jackson, along here with Mr. Pei, State Representative Jared Solomon, along with Dr. Dogbek Kirsnia on the topic of the coronavirus.
Representative, I have one question for you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. This is my question. You mentioned something about a stimulus package. Now, what is the catch on this stimulus package? Because you talk about money.
The catch?
Yeah, what is the catch on that? Is it something that people going to be paying back because we're talking about American household.
I hope there's not a catch. There's, I guess in politics and government, a lot of times there is a catch, but this is one unique time where it seemed like all Democrats and Republicans agreed that this stimulus was the right thing to do. Just for your audience, if you're an individual taxpayer, you filed your taxes and you earn less than $75,000, you're going to be entitled to a check from the government. So that stimulus check, the hope is that millions of Americans are going to use that check to go out, buy goods, services, and help stimulate the economy, which, as everybody knows, is much needed right now.
But how long would this go on? Because we were in March and we are now in April. So how long would this go on?
I really wish I could tell you an exact date when this would end. I really wish I could. I hope we get back to some sense of normalcy soon. I know that whenever we do, we're going to need to stagger going back to work, because I think if we all just rush back and operate as we once did, we could have another spike in the number of cases. So for a while, we're going to need to kind of rejigger the way we approach our work and relate with our coworkers and relate with our friends and neighbors. But as long as we continue to practice good health practices, hopefully we get back to work soon.
Representative, I have one other question in regards to the
Sure.
package. How long do you think it would take for, citizens to actually receive these packages?
Right. So government's usually not known for its efficiency. In this case, the checks for each person, again, the checks should be going out if you are earning below 75,000 as an individual, and as a couple, you can earn up to approximately 198,000. But as your income goes up, the amount of the check goes down. Now, what the government is saying is it should be about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, when these checks will come. So what that means is, if you filed your taxes in either 2018 or 2019, meaning for the current tax year, and you registered a direct deposit, your bank account with the government, you should just get a direct deposit in your account. You shouldn't need to do anything. Now, if you have not filed your taxes in 1819, I'm encouraging people to do that, because that way the government will have an active Social Security number and a bank account in which they can put that stimulus check right in the account. So I hope it's 2 to 3 weeks, but as quickly as possible, because people are really struggling. They need that money.
Representative, I also would like to ask, for our viewers, especially our community, how imperative is it for us to actually stay home?
Yeah, it really is critical, and I see people all the time outside, and they're congregating. Here's the problem, right? No one wants to stay home. I don't want to stay home. My family, my neighbors don't want to stay home. You want to go out. You want to return to life as it was. You want to be able to hug and kiss your mom, your dad. You want to be able to go over and see your grandma. The problem is, even if you're younger and you would recover in a very short period of time from any symptoms, the issue is that you will be spreading COVID-19 to other people who might be immunocompromised. I just got off the phone with someone yesterday who had a cousin, 23 years old, who is currently on a ventilator dealing with the symptoms, the consequences of COVID-19. And the reason that individual got the coronavirus is because they went to a social gathering, a party, and basically everyone in the party, both young and old, contracted the virus. And now folks are really, in fact, this very young person is paying with the consequences in a very real way. So please, we hear it all the time. Please take it to heart. Stay home and only go out if there are essential tasks you need. That's why my office, if you're a senior, you're immunocompromised, stay at home. Stay at home. We will bring you the food to your door. You just have to let us know that you need that service. It's best if you remain at home, you relax, you prevent the spread, you prevent getting COVID-19, and we can help you with the services you need.
Yeah, Representative, this is for our viewer. You said previously that testing site, you are not aware of that in your district. But I want to know, are you trying to have testing site located in your district, or you are thinking about,
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, right now there are two close sites that are relatively far away. One's a Citizens Bank, and there's one in West Philadelphia. It's too far, especially for people who don't have a car and they're still relying on public transportation. So we're trying to get one right here in the Northeast. These, of course, these sites, the whole point of the sites are reserved for people who really need the test. Of course, everyone wants to be tested. I want to know, all my friends want to know, do I have COVID-19? If I get a little sniffle, I have a sore throat, we want to know whether we are presenting with symptoms, whether we're going to test positive. But if you're not symptomatic, we really don't want you to be going and getting the test. It's only the people who are presenting with symptoms, because as you guys know, we're limited in the number of testing kits we have. So we need a site in the Northeast, and we need the people who really need those tests to be in the front of the line to get them as soon as possible.
Thank you, Rev. Now a commercial break, and we'll be right back on the topic. And we're back at Lrtn's Primetime. I'm Jackson once again, here with Mr. Pei, State Representative Jared Solomon, along with Dr. Dogwenia. Now, Dr. Nia, there have been some questions and myths going about this coronavirus, and we would like some answers. The first question I would like to ask is, does the virus discriminate against age, race, gender?
No. The virus is what we call virulent. It infects any age, any race. Generally, it affects anyone. People should not think that the virus discriminates. No, it does not. What happened, we have observed, is that older populations are more susceptible and they succumb to the virus effect when infected more than other demographic in terms of age. Now that's simply because of the low immune system of the much older populations, as we are seeing in Italy now. That is why you have the death rate in Italy was so high, because Italy has a very high older population. So no one should be under the illusion that they cannot be infected. Protect yourself and protect others. Take all of the necessary preventive measures that we have instituted and continue to advise on.
Thank you, Doc. At this time, we would like to put our number on the screen so we can have our viewer who has questions for Representative Solomon and Dr. Douglas, so we can have few of them to ask any question on their mind. We got that, Emma?
I have a question. And we're back here at Lrtn Primetime. This is a segment where we're going to have viewers call in and ask Doc or State Representative some questions. But until we have a caller call in, Doc, I do have a question for you. Hello, Doctor, are you here with me?
Yes, I am.
One of the questions I would like to ask is that how long does it take for your body to recover from the virus?
Say that again.
How long does it take for your body to fight off the virus?
Well, it depends on the biological fitness of your body. There are patients that are infected that don't show symptoms at all, but they carry the infection. And they don't come down with any of the symptoms, which are, the typical symptoms like fever, coughing, or sneezing, or headache. Now, there are those who are infected and they come down with the symptoms, they are monitored and they are treated.
Okay.
And they recover. And those who succumb to the treatment, those who succumb to the virus succumb to it simply because their body have tried to fight it off, but it could not. And they succumb to the virus mainly through respiratory complications, for which you've been hearing over the news in the United States and other countries, the need for a lot of ventilations to be made available to healthcare frontline workers. And so that's the situation. We've not seen yet how long it takes for your body to fight it off. This is a new virus, it's a new infection, and it's a pandemic time. We are fighting it, and we are taking very keen notes and observation and carrying out observational studies. In the future, we will compile this data and make it available to the scientific community as well as the public in simple form in order to answer some of these questions definitively. So we'll continue to advise that people avoid, being infected or infecting others when you have these symptoms.
Okay. Another question, Doc. As an infectious disease specialist, have you got any word on if there's any type of different strands of the virus?
Well, the strain that came from the original source in Wuhan, China, is the very strain that we have been seeing, which has been transmitted from person to person in China itself, and then cross-continental borders, and is infecting in other countries and on other continents. Whenever we isolate this virus from an infected person, we carry out certain genetic studies to compare the sequences, its genetic characteristics with the original strain, and we have seen that it matches the original strain. So far, I haven't seen any report to suggest that there is a different strain that is infecting other than the original one that came from Wuhan, China.
All right, thank you, Doc. This question goes to Representative Solomon. Representative Solomon, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I wanted to know this food pantry you were talking about. You mentioned about this food pantry that they can deliver it to individual. Is it only intended for your district, or is for the whole of Northeast?
Oh, anyone can take advantage of the food pantries in the neighborhood. So we're doing three main things.
Okay.
If you're a senior and you need delivery of food to your office, to your home, call my office, 215-342-6340.
Okay.
If you're not a senior and you need about a week or so of food, there are two locations right in my neighborhood. One is at the Salvation Army on Rising Sun Avenue. Another one is run at Feast of Justice Church on Tyson Avenue.
Okay.
Feast of Justice Church on Tyson. And people, again, if they're confused about how to get to these locations, they can call me 215-342-6340. Those two locations are open Mondays and Thursdays, 10 to noon.
Okay.
Mondays and Thursdays, 10 to noon.
All right.
Okay, we have, my name is Joseph Anderson, and we have a couple of questions coming from social media. One is directed to the doctor. Dr. Nya. Somebody's asking how serious is the lockdown? How serious should people take the lockdown? They want to know.
Well, we're asking you to take the lockdown very, very, very seriously. It helps to prevent the spread of the virus since the lockdown will restrict the movement of people from place to place. As you know, as we have been saying, the virus spreads from person to person. So the lockdown helps a lot to prevent the spread. Two, the lockdown also helps frontline workers to have the time to carry out contact tracing when we notice or have detected that somebody has been infected and they have gotten in contact with a lot of people. So with people staying in place, more or less, it helps us to trace those who this infected patient or person have come in contact with. And it makes it easier to isolate those people, meaning pinpointing them and then carrying out the necessary measures that are needed in order to contain the virus, the spread of the virus. That includes observation of those in a quarantine center and then treating those who are infected and then having those that are not infected to stay in place at their homes and monitor themselves. So that's how serious we are advising the population to take this issue of lockdown.
Okay,
Thank you.
this is directed to the representative Solomon. Somebody want to find out from you what can they do? They trying to talk about illegal. They have a lot of illegal immigrants who are in the area. Now, if they're stuck inside, they don't have food, they have no means to get around to do anything, and they are illegal. Is the food bank open to them? Is there any way you can help them to make sure if they're affected or anything? Can they call on your office because they are afraid? Can you say something to that representative?
Absolutely, and I thank you for that question. So my district's actually the most diverse in the whole city of Philadelphia, the whole state. 30% of my district's foreign born. So this is a population that I'm very concerned about. The services that I talked about, whether it's meals for seniors, meals for families, there are no questions asked. You just call my office, we'll set you up with the services, and we'll make sure that you get the necessary food that you need during this time.
Okay, that another question directed to you, representatives. Hold on one second. Somebody saying thank you for coming on the network on the Liberian Radio and Television Network, and I hope that you always come. The first time seeing you in person, and they hope that if you have the opportunity for our network to follow you sometimes and some of the wonderful work you guys are doing. Another person want to ask you, they went to your office a couple of times and the place is closed, and they went there. It's very difficult to get in touch with you, to sit with you and talk to you. Can you address that?
Sure. So first of all, in terms of wanting to follow me, talk to me, yeah, that'd be great. Let me know what works. In getting in touch with me, I'm very surprised to hear that anyone had any difficulty to get in touch with my office. So I don't know, if they're talking about now. Right now, my office was closed by the state. We're not allowed to be open, so we're doing everything remotely. You call my office number, 215-342-6340, 215-342-6340, and we will call you back. But before this, we were open Monday through Saturday. So I'm not sure why they weren't able to get in touch with me. I'm happily can give that person my cell phone number and my email as well.
Yeah, Representative Solomon, let me ask you this question. We mentioned it. You mentioned that before. It's pertaining to the stimulus package. You said that the stimulus package will be given to people based on their income tax return. Am I right to say that?
That's correct.
Okay. Now you said that you make 75,000 or a little above that.
Or less.
Yeah, your stimulus package will be a little bit, it will be different.
Oh,
So,
correct.
yeah, okay, now let me understand it. Can you really tell us what would be the difference and what is set by Washington to give to a household? Because we're talking about household, we are not talking about the corporation, we are not talking about the small businesses, but we're talking about the household, people who have been out of job for right now, people who just work from hand to mouth. These are people that we're talking about. So can you give us some light on that? The specific?
Yeah, sure. So, like I had mentioned, that the stimulus is targeted to people who are in need right now. So it's a $1,200 check if you make $75,000 or less. So if it's husband and wife, you're going to get two checks. Plus, if you have kids, you're going to get $500 per child in addition to your individual check of $1,200. Now, above the 75,000, I'm forgetting the exact amount, but I think with each $1,000 above, you're going to decrease the amount of stimulus you get. So the idea here is that the stimulus is targeted to the population who needs it most right now.
All right. Now, Representative, I coming back. I want to ask you that same question I asked you before, but like I didn't get the right answer that I want to get. I asked you, what's the catch? You say it will be $500 for each child, then $1,200 per adult. Now, all this money the federal government is giving to us in America. Are you saying to us that this money is a grant? Is it a grant?
Yes. So this money is coming to you. It's not considered income, so you don't have to disclose it for tax purposes.
Okay.
This is money specifically directed to folks who are struggling now, so they can help. So if you're a family that's struggling with rent payments, utility payments, to put food on the table, this is targeted to you. And it is no. There's no sort of like, oh, at the end of this, we got you. This is money directed to help you, the family, the person in need.
Okay, Rob.
Thank you.
I do have one more question, but we'll get back to you very shortly. Dr. Nia, before you depart, do you have any departing statement?
Well, I'd like to thank you for inviting me on this program and to tell our listening audience the importance of adhering to the current regulations that have been put in place, which include the stay-at-home order that have been put in place in the various states in the United States and in various countries in Africa and around the world where you may be residing. Respect the lockdown. Follow all of the health regulations that we have provided. Consistent hand washing, coughing and sneezing in the inner elbow of your hand. When you feel sick, make sure you alert the local health authorities so that you are checked up and given a test if it is needed. We ask you to also respect all of the law enforcement officers. For those of you listening from Liberia and other parts of Africa, particularly the pastors, we ask you to continue to pray at home and not gathering your congregation in your church or places of worship. So again, we ask you to respect all of these regulations. And I want to thank the representative from the Pennsylvania area for the work he's doing for this constituency, Pennsylvania itself and the world at large, because all of that are towards helping to stamp out this particular pandemic and for a better health for the future for humanity. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Dan. Now, Representative, I do have one question, a very important question. In regards to the lockdown, how are the institutions affected by this in regards to like schooling? What happens in regards to students for school?
So, and thank you, Doctor, for that comment, and thank you for the work that you're doing. In terms of the question, what we did in the legislature, we waived the 180-day requirement, mandatory physical presence requirement for kids. So we're not going to be able to meet that, and we added a flexible flex day requirement so we can allow kids to get educated remotely. So right now, the city of Philadelphia is, the school district is purchasing laptops for any child who doesn't have one. They're investing $11 million in this, and parents are contacting their schools, indicating that they need laptops. They're getting the laptops, they're taking them home, and then teachers and administrators are going to be working with our kids to do remote learning. So we needed to first do that, to allow for that in the legislature, and now the school district is doing that work in Philadelphia. They're also doing this throughout the whole state.
Okay, we have another question from somebody in your district. I have to do with religion, Muslim or Christian. They want to know what's your take on the closing down of the churches, because they're looking at the culture differences, and some of them they got so much program going on, and they also help in the churches to their various congregation. So are you saying that even the churches, you guys don't want nobody to go to church, they shouldn't worship, or can they gather and help, like do donations and other things in the district?
So I talk to my faith-based leaders all the time. In fact, we're working together to deliver food to folks throughout my district. And it's not just the leaders of churches or pastors or imams, etc., in Northeast Philadelphia. It's also their congregants. So we're all working. The restriction on going into a place of worship is just the numbers. You're talking about 100, 200 people. It's some of my churches and mosques, it's 1,000 or more, all congregated together. Imagine if just one of those individuals who's in close quarters has COVID-19, you're going to potentially spread that to a whole congregation. Those individuals leave the pews of that church, they go home. Now it's in a different community, a different county, possibly a different state. So that restriction is in place really to protect us. A lot of churches throughout the city are doing remote worship. And so you on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're able to just click a link and you see your pastor, imam, or rabbi on live in the institution practicing social distancing, but you can still get in your prayer and worship.
Okay, another question to you, Representative. I know we got to leave, but another question of this is coming from a social media. Somebody want to ask is, do you need help? Do you need any help in the district from the African community? Some people are waiting to volunteer. Is there any voluntary work that you want anybody in the African community to help?
I always need help. Yes. We need help with delivering food, with helping to set up these food banks, with reaching out, making phone calls to our seniors and most vulnerable. So if you want to help, you can hit me up on Facebook or call me 215-342-6340, or you can email me jsolomon, SOLOMON, at PAHouse, jsolomon@PAHouse.net.
Yeah, Representative. I'm coming back to you on that stimulus package. You did say that they have this stimulus package going to corporations and small businesses and other individuals. Now, the Liberian Radio and Television Network, even though we are non for profit, will you consider us to be among the small business entity?
So, so there's, if you're a nonprofit, so I'm assuming you're a 501c3,
Yeah.
you have a number of different options.
Okay.
Right now, on the federal level,
Yep.
the SBA loans, which many of them are forgivable,
Okay.
as long as you're using the money for certain reasons,
Okay.
nonprofits can access this money. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's also a pot of city money available that it's a smaller dollar amount that nonprofits can also access. And we're working on something at the state level. So yes, not only can you should really reach out if you're having trouble meeting overhead, keeping the lights on, making payroll, etc. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative, for joining us on this discussion. Before you head out and before we close, do you have any other last departing words for our audience?
I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you. I want the audience and I want all of you to stay safe and healthy in this difficult time. And please, if there's anything we can do, we're all helping each other out. These are uncharted territories. There's no playbook for me. There's no way that, that any family would know how to deal with these difficult times right now. Let's work together. So please, if we can help you, just give up my office a call, 215-342-6340. Please, everyone, stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, Representative. And definitely don't be afraid to come back and join us here at LRTN.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Representative. Bye now.